Greetings, vinyl community. As it is, in a couple hours from now, from when I film this, it will be officially my birthday. And that's not why I'm filming this video. This is kind of coincidental to that. I took some time off work, and so I have a bit of time, and I penciled this video in for you, all 10 of you. But this video is kind of, it's going to be sharing some knowledge for some people who might not know what I'm going to kind of talk about later on. But I'm going to have a rant. I'm going to start this video with a rant after a couple, about 60 seconds of preamble. But stay tuned for the rant. I don't know where it's going to go. I haven't rehearsed it, obviously. I could offend everyone. I could offend no one. Or I could offend the people who I slyly intend to offend. Anyways, so this video is going to be kind of in kind of parts. I have what I've done actually is I've put aside all the thrift store finds that, yeah, you know, I could show those in a month or 2 months or next week or whatever. I've kind of kept the creme a la creme to illustrate a point I'm going to make. And then I have a couple new records just to show that I thought were kind of extra special for me. And then I have some vinyl from certain places, which is the back half of this video, where I want to share knowledge with you about. And some people will know what I'm going to talk about, and some people won't. So if you don't, if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what, you can click off that part of the video. But if you don't, it's a great new way of getting incredible deals on vinyl. So hang tight. Cheers, everyone. I guess, I don't know, this rant, I haven't done a rant in a while because as I get older, and in a couple hours I'll be 1 year older, as I get older I kind of don't really have that piss and vinegar that I used to have. When I first started making videos, and I would rant here and I'd rant there and I'd rant all over the oh yeah, so I want to show this. I got a new guitar. One humbucker, one volume, that's it. That's not here nor there, but I wanted to show you that. The last new guitar I will ever buy, and don't laugh because it's true. I used to do rants here and there and all over the place, and you know, a lot of people click on those videos, so it's kind of clickbaity, but I've kind of softened to my old age. But it's become very apparent that there is no real vinyl community anymore, and I use air quotes for community. And I'm not pining for the old days when vinyl videos were first making their appearances on YouTube. There used to be, like, I started off. I only belonged to one vinyl community, and that was the YouTube vinyl community. Some people might remember that one. Some people might still be on it. I don't know. I'm not anymore, for no apparent reason, just no identifiable reason. But back then, I felt like there was a real community, in so much as people really supported people's videos, and they would share people's links, you know, and hope, you know, and if there's a new person making videos, they would recommend their channel to people, and then they would start getting views and so on and so forth. And that's kind of how that worked. And sorry, I gotta adjust my stool. Ow. I grabbed something I shouldn't have. Anyways, and this is an old man being fawnful for 10 years ago, because that's not really that far back enough to be to reminisce about. But it really was, you know, it really felt like a community, and to have someone start any shit, or to have any kind of bullshit happen between people was very rare, and when it did, it was kind of big news. But it so rarely happened, and it feels like now, in fact, I don't even think it feels like now. I'm going to make a statement that there isn't really a community anymore. It just seems like everyone's out for themselves. There's small little pockets of clicks, and if you're not in that click, and I'm not just to put this up front, I'm not in anyone's clique. I operate as my own island. I am my own nation. I am Luxembourg. That's probably a bad analogy, but I don't have any affiliation. I just see what's going on, and there's none. People are being catty, and people are just, they can't wait to diss one another. And there's some people might know vaguely, maybe, what I'm talking about. Maybe, and I don't think it's really about one particular thing. It's more, yes, there have been some things that have been happening. I've been kind of noticing, and there's people who, there's this one person who makes these they're so clever. They'll put little disses in their titles, but haha, they're just kidding. They're old and they can get away with it. And I would love to say who that person is, but I'm not. I don't know this person very well. We've sometimes commented on each other's videos, but very rarely. But I know this person has been a real prick in the past, and it's just kind of, haha, it's a joke. And trust me, I'm not what do you call it? I'm not one of these little newly born sensitive people. It's just, there used to be a real vinyl community. And when you've spent 80% of your life having vinyl being very important to your life, or music, I guess, music in general, it just like, there's people who use vinyl nowadays at thrift stores and stuff. If you catch it on the wrong day with the wrong people, they're damn right pushing you out of the way. It's just vinyl, people. It's just used records, and it's just new records, and it's just records. And I am self-aware enough to know that I used to have this panic about, I need to get vinyl and I need to scoop this person and that person, but that was just fucked up thinking. And it's not real, and it's just probably replacing something else in your life that's lacking, I'm guessing. But you know what? I just think the days of the vinyl community are done, and it seems like everyone out for themselves. And and I think the funny part is that I can't be offended. There's nothing someone can say that's going to upset me anymore. Not that anyone said anything bad about me that I know of. Should I know something? But there's nothing anyone here could say that would offend me. I've heard it all. And, when you worked with the public for decades, you've kind of heard it all. So, I just want to almost, since this is my video, I kind of want to, for me personally, I want to put this to bed, that in my mind, there's no community anymore. There's people who are friendly, and there's exceptions. So I know people will say, blah, 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 blah. You're the exception. Trust me. One of the few exceptions, because people are just being out and out mean. And it's not even just on YouTube or via videos. It's just in stores and in record fairs and just the fucking chatter behind people's backs, and it's just unneeded, and it's stupid, and it's petty. And if you people would just realize it's just vinyl, that's all it is. It's important to me. It's an important part of my life, but it's not the defining moment of my life or part of my life. So I want to say cheers, everyone. I really have nothing against anyone per se. I just wish people would fucking grow up. And I don't think there's any going back now where you would see hundreds of people be a community, which is kind of how it used to be, let's say 10 years ago. I can't remember how long ago I started making videos, but it was around that time. I'm going to say 10 years ago or something like that. 12 years ago, I don't know. But yeah, that's my rant. And it may not have been presented very viciously, but I think the message behind it is to me pretty a powerful statement on people and society and people who are taking this vinyl collecting a little too seriously. It's a hobby. It's fun. It's no reason to be a dick to one another. So that's my message, and I hope everyone understands what I'm trying to say. And you know what? I still like everyone that I'm kind of friendly with, or I comment. We trade comments, or if I know you on Facebook or Instagram or in person, or hey Andy, how you doing? That's a shout out for someone. Yeah, I still like everyone. And I don't have anything bad to say about anyone. Let's just fucking live your life and let's be happy. And you know, and if you're watching this, and this is my last thing I'm going to say about this. If you're watching this, and like I said, if you're self-aware enough to know that you are one of those people I'm talking about, just you know, have a moment of self-reflection. You know, like I've had, or a lot of people have in life, about just. It's just fine. And you know what? That person that lives across the country from you that's making videos that you don't like, or blah, 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 who cares? You know? All right, that's it. Rant over. I'm going to keep this really short here. I promise you this time. Because I really want to... there's some saying about without sharing knowledge it's useless or something like that. I'm probably quoting it wrong, but I'm really happy kind of to get to the part of the video where I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Anyways, really quickly, a couple of new records that I got and I'm really happy to that I've got, and a lot of people don't know this is out. But one of my favorite bands is a band called the Smithereens out of New Jersey. Made some of the best records I've ever heard, especially For You, Green Thoughts, 11. But there was a moment they put an album called Blow Up out, which was, I think, their contractual obligation album. Not obligation, but that was the album that ended their contract with Capitol. And there was a moment in time where they didn't have a record contract, and they ended up actually signing with RCA for this album, A Date with the Smithereens. This is a 7-inch box set they brought out with it's the whole album but on 7-inch singles. But that's the album that they recorded for RCA. I think they only managed one album because this album didn't do very well. It's great, but it didn't do very well. But in between Capitol and RCA, they actually recorded an album themselves, not for the purpose of releasing it, but just to get, tracks down to, play for a record label or whatever. And it ends up that nothing from that album ended up on this album. I'm not sure if RCA made them scrap it and start again. I'm not sure what happened there. They don't explain. This is the part that's missing of this story. They don't explain it in the liner notes or anything why. But in between that, the Capitol and RCA contract, they recorded this album. And they're calling it the Lost Album. And I really hate when people... I'm getting tired of the lost demos or the lost blah, blah, blah. It's not lost. You fucking knew these tapes are there under your staircase. You knew these tapes were in the garage, not just Smithereens, but bands or bands who call their albums the Lockdown Sessions, and that's been so used to death. Some originality, please. While we're talking. That's my only gripe about that is that they called it the Lost Album, which it is, but. When lost means that they've made it and then they had amnesia and they forgot they made this record. Well, they didn't. They knew it, and It's only 1,000 albums pressed, but the only other complaint too is that the artwork is kind of. But anyways, what's inside is an almost finished record, as in so much that it's not completely professionally mixed and mastered, but it sounds as good as a record kind of, that's been under someone's stairs for fucking 20 years sounds. Really good album. And if you like the Smithereens and you don't know this album's out there, it's readily available. I got this on Amazon. It's the album that bridges Blow Up and A Date with the Smithereens, and it's a really great record. So I highly recommend this if there's any more copies out in the world, which I'm sure there will be. This is a band that I saw last summer in Los Angeles. And one of my favorite albums I've talked about is an album that I fell in love with when I was like, I think 11. Is a band, an album called The Lexicon of Love by ABC. And I've talked about this album many, many times over the years. It's one of my favorite albums front to back ever. Anyways, they released this on that series Live Here Now, where they record something live and you can order it right after or buy it right after. And they did this triple album of The Lexicon of Love Live on triple vinyl. It's on, I'm going to show you this if I can. It's on purple sparkly vinyl. I'm not sure if the camera is, yeah, you can see the sparkles there. But they do the whole album, and it's the orchestra is conducted by Ann Dudley, who did the original score, or the orchestration for the original album. This album was originally produced by Trevor Horn, the Lexicon of Love album. And what's great is that it's not just the Lexicon of Love. They do a whole other set of their kind of greatest hits. But then the end part is the great Lexicon of Love performed live with the orchestra. What orchestra is this? I have a feeling it's, Birmingham or Newcastle or something like that. Sheffield, where they're from. This was recorded at the Sheffield Hall by this Sheffield Orchestra, Symphony Orchestra. And it's a full orchestra and it sounds great, just like the Lexicon of Love should have sounded. Like it did sound. Anyways, triple vinyl. There's various places to get it. It's not something you could easily get, but you can order it. It's expensive, but if you're a fan like me, it was worth every dollar. So that's one of what else? Does anybody know Sven Gawley from Canada? I'll skip that one. I finally got a copy of Sleep. I wanted Holy Mountain, but I thought for a second in my mind I thought this was colored vinyl, but it's not. It's plain ass black vinyl. But Sleep, Holy Mountain, one of the greatest sludge doom albums ever by a band who's one of the greatest sludge doom bands ever. I love Sleep, and for some reason this is hard to find. I've never gone to a store in my town and seen this record, or my city. It's 1.5 million, so I guess it's not a town. It's a large city. But even then, I'm just, I don't see this, so I have to order them. I have no choice but to order it. But a great album, and I finally got a copy of that. So, and this is what is this? This is a kind of a collection completer for a band that I love since high school, a band called Celtic Frost. This was released as part of Noise Records' 40th anniversary. Noise Records, they put out bands like Creator and Voivod and Halloween and Celtic Frost, and this is Emperor's Return. And that was recently came out in vinyl that looks very green and black. And I think there's boobies on here, so I'm gonna just block that out. Anyways, there's that, and then one last new record, like new as in, is there's I'm stammering now. I'm gonna stretch this out until it's my actual birthday. But Golden Earring, Best of the '90s, came out a few months back, and I know nobody really cares about Golden Earring a whole lot other than Anthony. at AGK Vinyl. But this is kind of a best of that Sony put out of their 90s material. But it drastically dropped in price, and I had to jump on it finally because I have all their vinyl, but I was waiting for the price to drop, and it did. Okay, so I think there's... okay. This is what it's been like for thrift store. Okay, so there's two more parts. I promise we'll end this. Like I said, I've shoved away. I haven't made a video in a while, so I've had a lot of vinyl accumulate. But oh, I found this yesterday. This Grateful Dead Anthem of the Sun. But have you ever seen the U.S. white cover from 1975? I believe. I hadn't until I found it yesterday. Great album. I thought I'd show that. This is my first Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit album because I went to Urban Outfitters on, it wasn't Boxing Day, it was like the week after Boxing Day or the week after Boxing Day. But I'm quite often in the mall cause it's kind of a work thing, I think, where Urban Outfitters is in my city, and they had all their clearance items were half price off that lowest tag price. So I paid for, and my friend Tom's a big Jason Isbell fan, so that's kind of why I bought it. This is his latest album called Weather Vanes, and it's so good. It's tagged at $40, $39.98, but it was lowered to $6.99. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's there. So half of that was about $3.50. So they had two copies, and no one was buying it. It's been sitting there, I guess. They told me, and they were amazed that I bought both copies, and I gave one to a friend of mine named Cuz, and I took the other one. You gotta look for them deals nowadays, people. Fuck paying full price. Not in this economy. Okay. I do have photos to back this up that I have posted, but you know what? I'm past the point of bullshitting people. I've showed pictures of me in thrift stores and finding this stuff, and some naysayers and those people I was talking about earlier at the top of the video, they like to doubt that I find this stuff, but I put the effort in. I put the time in, and I find the spoils of my hard work. This is stuff from thrift stores, and okay, I'll show you. There's stuff I bought because I don't even like these. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't like them because I'm not. Okay, so I found, like, for instance, like I said, these are all new records I found at a thrift store. I'm guessing it's, like I said before, people who got into vinyl and now they're out of it and they're donating their records. I don't know, still don't know why. But this is a band called The Sea and the Cake, and an album called Runner. And it's on the Thrill Jockey label. It was sealed. And these are all at Goodwill, so they're $2.99, I believe, is the Goodwill price. And this is all the same batch. This is one of those bands I feel like I should like this record because people always talk about it, and it's in those albums that people say they're one of the best albums of the last 30 years, and is Neutral Milk Hotel. And I had heard it before, and it was there. Of course, I'm going to get it for $3. I gave it another shot, and I don't know. It's just, it's you can't like everything, I guess. And I feel bad. I feel bad for not liking it. It's something like I should like. Everyone who I have things in common with like this record, and it's just not my thing. But yeah. This wasn't sealed, but these are in mint condition. But yeah, Neutral Milk Hotel. I'll find someone to give that to. Trust me, this is all 2 batches of thrift store vinyl. And this is what was 4 days ago, I believe. At no, it wasn't even Goodwill. It was a Salvation Army. Do you guys have those near town? It's like a low rent Goodwill, but with more Christian overtones or religious overtones, not Christian, religious overtones. Like they close on religious holidays. Who the fuck does that anymore? It's not the 50s. Anyways, ready for this? Beastie Boys, Ill Communication. I already got it. I ain't leaving it there. That's going to be good trade bait there. Excellent condition. I didn't even have to take a cloth to it. Offspring, smash. Once again, I have it. It goes without saying I'm not leaving these things behind. You wouldn't either. There's something, let's say I find a Joe Walsh album that I already have, or a fucking Kansas record or some shit like that I already have. Of course, I'm going to leave that shit there. I ain't leaving this there. Smash. Vitology. I actually don't have this album on vinyl, which is odd. I don't have every Pearl Jam album, but I have the early ones, and I was surprised I didn't have this. So this one, I am keeping this one. So yeah, there's a couple more. This is the reissue of Too Fast for Love. I don't think it's the new one. I think it's the one before that one. The one that just came out a few months back. Anyways, it still has the hype sticker on it. Like 180 grams, cut from the original analog master tapes, vinyl reissue. It's one of the rare Motley Crue albums that I will jump up and down about because it's fantastic. This one too. This is the 50th anniversary edition and has a CD inside of the album. And I don't know, whoever's donating these, I love you. I want to make out with you. Well, let's just pretend that the person donating this is a of-age woman. I wish I was better at editing because I'd edit that part out. Scorpions Blackout, 50th anniversary edition. And you know what? I don't mind getting rid of my original Mercury Records pressing. I've said this before and I don't give a shit what people think of this. Once again, I have no problem with reissues. No problems whatsoever. I mean, sometimes it's an ego stroke. I always say that you own an original pressing of this and that. Yeah, and I'm guilty of that. And that's fine. Some bands, I like to have original pressings, but the minute I found this at a thrift store, I came home, I pulled my original Mercury Records pressing out, and I put it aside to sell because I guarantee you this sounds better. I'm going to have to do these in groups. Yeah, okay, so this goes along with the Sea and the Cake and the Neutral Milk Hotel. Bands that, like, a part of this group that, the Lumineers, are they Canadian? No, they're not Canadian. Are they? No, they're not. They're from the States. But I don't really know much about them, but they were there. Once again, bands that I feel like I should like, or at least be familiar with. I haven't even listened to these yet, so that's... I have a hard time believing this was all the same person, but I have a feeling that it was the thrift store saving up their vinyl stock until after Christmas, and so they had stuff to put out, I'm guessing. So, I mean, and I'll be honest, that was at two different thrift stores, but it was the same, it was a couple days, I think it was 2 days apart. It doesn't, do you actually care it's 2 days apart? No, you don't. I'm saying that to appease my Alzheimer's. I found, this is a different batch now. But these are original pressings. These are actually, you know what's odd? These are Mercury Records pressings from the US. Why they're here, I don't know in Canada, but Rush Farewell to Kings. Once again, albums I already have. Rush Hemispheres, I have the Canadian red vinyl edition, and this is Mercury Records black vinyl. Not that it matters, but also Permanent Waves. 3 mighty fine Rush albums. And one might argue their last true progressive, out-and-out progressive rock album is Hemispheres. One might argue that. Okay, this was today. And I'm going to get to that part right away where I talk about the place where you can get vinyl. I found LA Guns covered in guns. And it's on Cleopatra Records, so it was a couple bucks. I was going to buy it regardless. But I think it's mostly a covers record, but it's by the lineup of LA Guns that doesn't have Tracy Guns in it. It's got Stephen Riley on drums, who died recently. It's got Phil Lewis on vocals, which is the original vocalist. But it's got 2 other people on guitar and bass who were never really part of any kind of notable version of the band. But now the original band's back together, minus Steve Riley, and they're kicking ass. But I have not even heard this yet. But it's LA Guns, and I'm going to give it a listen. If not, I'm sure someone I know might want it. Okay, ready for this today? If my wife wasn't with me today, I swear she will come on and vouch for me. Like mint new. Scumdogs of the Universe by Gwar. This is the New Dark Age. Is this the New Dark Ages? Fuck. I don't have this one, so I'm kind of blanking. Yeah, the New Dark Ages. I don't have this one. By Gwar. Carnival of Chaos by Gwar. If you see a theme running here, these are all Gwar. And This Toilet Earth. The only ones I don't have is I didn't have this one on vinyl before. And I don't have this one on vinyl. This is the anniversary edition, so I have the original black cover version of this. And I have I don't have that. And I have that. So I think one of these can go. But yeah, how's that? I that many Gwar albums. Let me frame this better. This might be my video. This might be my screen. I haven't done this in a while. This might be my screen cap. Yep. Okay. I want to get to the important part of this video now. I want to share with you a new place that I've been finding vinyl. And I mean insane vinyl. And I have to take 2 minutes to explain what these stores are, because I can't believe there's still people who don't know what these stores are. I call them Amazon return stores. If my city has like 4 of them or 5 of them, I'm sure your city has a few of them, or you're aware of what these stores are. Basically, Amazon, they take all their returns, they bundle them up. It's kind of well known. You can see videos on YouTube about these things. They sell them off by pallets in big cardboard. They're called Gaylords, but they're big cardboard containers via pallets, and also pallets of all their returns. And they auction them off to these stores. And I haven't seen any that are owned by the same people. So they're all independent people who own these stores. And they go by different names. Like, none of them have the word Amazon in the name of their store, obviously, but that's what they are ostensibly. Is they buy or they bid on these lots of return items from Amazon. And I won't say what particular one I go to. That's the only thing I will withhold, because it could be anyone. Where I'm from. Anyways. Basically, so these stores, how they operate, if you don't know, is the first day they'll put new stock out once a week, and the first day they put it out in my area, it's usually Friday or Saturday. The first day, no matter what it is, on these big tables of like, and these places are massive. They're not small. There are massive stores with just endless tables of Amazon returns. And not just that, there's returns from Costco, there's returns from other places, but mostly Amazon. And the first day is usually like, no matter what's there, it's $25. So obviously not everything there is going to be worth $25, but you find some damn good stuff for $25. The things people buy on the first day are like electronics, the big ticket items they can resell, because that's what usually they buy them for. I go there to buy stuff for me. I've found some good stereo accessory things I've needed, and records. The second day, usually what happens, and until the sixth day, it drops, the price drops per day. So it'll be $25, then $10, then $5, then $3, then $1, and then it cycles back around to the first day where everything again is $25. No one buys records on the first day. Nobody really ever buys records who goes there. This is why I've been at a few different ones I go to. So if I were to find these things for $25 on the first day, I would consider myself. But if you go the second day and you get there early enough and you find records, and I'll show you how to identify these records, because I have a prop. You're getting returns from Amazon for $10. Let me show you what I've got. Some of them I don't have with me because they're filed, and I wanted to film this. I didn't want to have to go through my fucking thousands of records remembering what I got from these Amazon stores. Okay, so anyways, in your area they might be called treasure hunters or crazy bins or crazy deals, fucking crazy, or whatever. I call them Amazon return stores, and everyone I know, that's what they call them. Look it up in your area and find out, and go there and have a look and see if they have Amazon returns, and then see. This took me a while to kind of piece together, or this is what I got in one day, and I went back the next day. So I got a couple of items for $25, and then the rest were $10. But this is just a small sample of what I've been able to get. Okay. Anyways. Before I do that, I want to say what you're looking for is you're looking for. I'm stating the obvious here, but people are there. Some people are just looking. If they're looking for records, they're looking for just open records, just with no cover. They're in these boxes. You know those vinyl boxes you get from Amazon? They're in their boxes here. And there's usually a box number on these that anyways, these vinyl boxes, they're inside of here because they're returns. They get the returns back, they stock them up, they sell them off on these pallets. Bob's your uncle. I got the new mobile fidelity pressing of Brothers in Arms. I think right now on Amazon this is $75-$80, if not higher. It's numbered. It was sealed. Someone I think got it and just returned it. Whatever. Not everything people return is garbage. They have buyer's remorse, whatever. I have not bought a record at one of these Amazon stores that has been damaged. There's been a couple corner bends, or who gives a fuck about that? Anyways, Brothers in Arms, the new mobile fidelity pressing. $10. I'm not even a fan of some of these bands, but yeah, I am actually. That's not true. This is the Blue Note that the audiophile thing they got. Blue Note. This is Hank Mobley. I don't even have this one, but it's got Lee Morgan and Donald Byrd and Herbie Hancock and Philly Joe Jones, who was on Kind of Blue. And actually, this has been in my Amazon cart for a long time, and then color me fucking surprised when it was there. And honestly, people who are going to these Amazon stores, the couple of people who I've seen buying records, they're buying like anime soundtracks and just I don't, if you're into that, fine. Nothing against that. But have all your anime soundtracks you want. I got two killers coming up right away. This is the last one I pulled, but suffice to say, I've gotten. Is that proper English? 25 single records that I've paid $10 each for. The new Blink 182, which kind of is odd because if you had a keen eye, this is the reunion album. They're all back. The boys are back together. This is a Tom DeLonge signature Strat, and I'm not that big of a Blink 182 fan. I think they're fine. I've always wanted one of these 70s headstock with the single humbucker and single volume, and that's a Tom DeLonge Strat. There you go. Are you ready for $25? I'll save the best one for last. And honestly, I don't care if you like this band or don't like any of the bands I'm showing. You can say, "Oh, I wouldn't pay $10 for the record." You're being a negative prick, like I've talked about. Just be happy for me. This is an Asia box set. This is Live at the Budokan, 1983. This was the MTV concert, and you get the vinyl. You get the what else is in this one? It came out last year. This was $25. This was sealed, and I'm dropping it and wrecking it for you. But it's got like so much awesome stuff in it, like vinyl and CDs and fucking Blu-rays and all kinds of. Of course, I'm showing you none of it. But anyways, this was oddly enough, John Wetton, the lead vocalist, left the band for a short time. So it was pretty much Emerson, Lake and Palmer with Jeff Downes and Steve Howe. But this was 25 owns, and I'm happy as shit with it. Box set. And here's the kicker. The $25 kicker, and you can see there's not an ounce of damage on this. This is the Neil Young box set that's been in my cart, and I've been salivating over, but I just I can't justify the expense. This is the one with Weld, Freedom, Ragged Glory, and Arc. Look at, not a mark on it. VK. So anyways, the box sets usually come in those bigger boxes that Amazon use for vinyl, but there's not a mark on this. This was $25. Okay. I'm telling you guys this because I would not be telling people this if I didn't honestly believe that you can go and get some incredible deals on vinyl. And if it's not the first day, it's the second day, but it's usually never past the first or second day. Usually by that time, all the vinyl's gone. But they're usually in boxes. Not always. And the other tip I have to say is dig to the bottom of the tables. They put the vinyl on the bottom so they don't bend or break. So when they load their tables up, usually the vinyl's on the bottom. So it's under all the piles of shit that doesn't interest me. That's how I always find my records. They're always at the bottom of the table, and everything's on top of it. And they're smart because they put it there so they don't wreck it. I guess if they know it's a record, I guess. But that just seems to be where I always find it. So please look at the bottom of the table underneath the shit. And you're not going to find stuff every time. I don't. But I would say 3 or 4 out of 8 times or 9 times I've scored big time. And it's worth the 4 times I haven't found any records is worth it, because you know what? Look what I've been finding. So I'm not putting a lot of time into it. There's no expense other than gas. So if I don't find something, it's going to show up anyway soon. And I'm going to be the one to get it. So, yeah, that's the advice I want to share with you. Please, if you have these places in your city, take my advice. Try it out. You may not get anything for the first couple times, and you might think, fuck this. this doesn't happen in my city, and yes, it does. You need to be patient, like thrift store finds. You need to be patient. I score once or twice out of every 10 times or 15 times I go to thrift stores. I get a good measurable amount of great vinyl at thrift stores. That's what putting the time is. Putting the time in is that's what I'm talking about. Is you put the time in. Sometimes you succeed and sometimes you fail, but don't be afraid to fail. And I'm going to end this video. And I hope I've been able to give some people some advice about how to get some good vinyl for cheap, apart from thrift stores and online, or like Craigslist or Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace. Those kind of places are still a gold mine for vinyl. But anyways, I just want to say, hey, I love you all, and I wish you all the best. And like I said, if you don't like some of the vinyl I showed, keep on going, because you know what? There'll be a YouTuber who's showing some stuff you like, if it's not me. This has been David Michael, aka Nazz Nomad. Bless you all. And I say bless you all, but I'm not religious in the slightest. So I don't even know why I said that. I wish you the best, though. Take care. And I have a room tour video coming. My yearly room tour video. And it's different. And you're going to love it. I promise you're going to love my new room tour video once I get around to filming it. But take care, everyone. Bye-bye. And be good to everyone.